Okay. All right, guys. Hopefully we'll get this going and get everybody on here. I'm going to go back to my Facebook page real quick and just let everybody know we're live. Great. If anybody hops on, please make sure to say, hey, let me know you're here, and we'll get started in a few minutes. All right, guys, is anybody here? Let me know. I think I see one in live chat. Let me know if you guys jump in so I can say hey. It's been a while since we've done this, so I'm hoping everybody will remember and jump on. Just waiting for everybody to jump in. It's been a while since we've done this, and so we're just going to hang out and wait for everybody to gather who wants to be here today. I know some of you guys have to watch this on replay, and that's totally fine too. But it's always nice to have some live questions and dialogue. So I like doing these every once in a while. I'm hoping to keep a schedule for the lives where I do it once a month, and it's the first Thursday of every month. So you guys can, have some consistency and count on me being here on a consistent basis. I had told you guys on my post, both my community post on YouTube, and I had shared it with my Facebook community, whoever's on there, which mostly those people are my real life friends and family over there, that I really didn't know if I was going to come back. This summer, I really needed that break. Man, graduation kicked my tail. We had a very special graduation for my oldest, but it was the most exhausting experience to plan it and to do, it was like a wedding. I mean, it was crazy. And so we just had a lot to coordinate. We hosted 3 families for graduation, and we did a catered taco bar at the after graduation for those family members. It was fantastic. But yes, I have never been so tired. And so when we took the summer off, we took the summer off. And I actually had a friend come visit me, one of my homeschool mama friends, and she asked me, she goes, "Are you coming back?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Maybe not. We kind of talked it out a little bit. And really, my conclusion was that I probably wouldn't. There's like stuff all over the table. Gross. And then I went to see another homeschool mom friend and hung out with her for a few days before school started back. And we had the same conversation. And so the more I thought about it, the more I realized, even if I do have a student that likes to keep her part of the homeschool journey private, I still have so much to share. I still have so much to talk about because my graduate was diagnosed with Asperger's this past year, and he doesn't mind me sharing that. But he did not take a traditional route after graduation. We have set 3 main goals for him for this year. And the transition from school, which is all he ever knew really, to young adulthood is one of the most hardest transitions for kids with autism, especially even more so our high functioning kids. And so there's just been a lot of anxiety around that. And we just talk through it. How do we make it to where we're back on a routine? What do you think we should be working on, but not pushing him beyond what he feels like he can handle right now? And so we've decided we're going to work on getting into occupational therapy to help with some coordination, motor planning, things that would help him in his driving. Right now, coordination is probably the biggest obstacle in him being successful learning how to drive. So we're working, we start that journey this weekend, actually. And then we're going to work. So we're going to do OT and kind of work on driving simultaneously. They're going to kind of coexist. And then the third goal, aside from those 2 goals, was to look at him getting a part-time job and just kind of navigate what life outside of the house looks like for him. And that's a big challenge for him. And so that's kind of what post-graduation this year is going to look for him. I have a junior, and it's hard to even say that, but soon to be 16. And I have been pricing car insurance, adding a new driver. We live in the Atlanta market. We're not really in Atlanta, but we are priced according to the Atlanta market. And all I have to say about that is if you have a choice to move here or not and you have a new driver, please don't. Our car insurance went up 200% for having a new driver, and she's not even a boy. Boys are even worse in the Atlanta market. So that has been an adventure. We're having to change insurance companies so that we could get a decent rate. Man, y'all, older teens really bring in the financial strain. They are expensive, right? So we have that going on right now. Yeah. I'm doing block scheduling for the first time this year. If you guys haven't seen my video on junior year, it's my most recent posted video. Go back and see that because I show you the schedule and we talk through how we're going to do this year. But basically, this is the first time we've ever done block. Also, I'm not doing Homeschool Planet this year. It was a digital planner where I would print a checklist out and they would do their work off of their checklist every day. She wants to go to college. And so I felt like that was going to actually be more of a handicap than a help at her age. I wanted her to learn how to look at a class for the year or for the semester or whatever, and be able to plan out how she would tackle that because she's going to be doing dual enrollment in 3 weeks. And so we are using a teacher planner, but we're using it together. It's laid out flat on the table for the week. It lists the subjects that she's doing. And it's basically reverse planning. She goes in, I tell her what the goal is. Like, we're going to do this book study for 8 weeks. We need to complete each unit, 1 unit a week. And so you need to read these pages and answer these questions by the end of Friday. And she plans out how that's going to look for her. We're also looking at her getting a part-time job. She really loves to be busy. She loves to be doing, and as long as her grades stay up, I'm fine with that. So the goal there is that she can start adjusting her assignments and her schoolwork based on what her schedule looks like that week. Maybe she's working more on the weekend than she's working during the week, and she's, can really get all that work done during the week. Maybe though, she's going to have a busier week one week and she needs to kind of navigate how that's going to look for her. But the point is, I don't want to plan it for her anymore. She's a junior in high school. We kind of are learning how to do that together. I'm not just throwing her in the water and not giving her any guidance. There's a lot of firsts this year. Dual enrollment is a big first. And these courses are not typical 18-week semester courses. They're 9-week fast courses. And I didn't even do that when I was in school. So we are taking all of the first and walking beside each other through them to get through kind of that first experience. And then she'll just gain confidence and experience and learning how to kind of handle that. Hey, Mindy, it's so good to see you. She said, my oldest is a junior this year too. Isn't it wild? The driving, the dual enrollment, if they choose to, there's so many opportunities. Working. It is, this is a year of a lot of firsts for us, and holy cow. This mom is like, it's just a lot. It's kind of like drinking through a fire hose, honestly. But my daughter and I work really well together, and she's been very open to me kind of walking her through these things, and then kind of saying, okay, do you want to take it from here? Or do you still want me to kind of oversee for a little bit, So I love the relationship that we have formed homeschooling over the years, because it's really paying off now, because we really do have to work together to get her to total independence, So yeah, I ditched the digital planner because I didn't want to have to plan it for her. That's not teaching her anything. So yeah. So just a lot, we're really managing things totally differently than we ever have. And yeah, a lot of firsts this year. We have had a wild first week of school, and it has nothing to do with homeschool, y'all. I will tell you. My daughter went back to school on Monday. Have y'all started yet? If you have, let me know. If you're starting later, let me know when you're starting. But Monday, we started school, and the dogs are always upstairs with us in the bonus room where we do school. And we always play with them. And Josie has this tradition of reading them a book every morning, and they love it. Yes, they're dogs, but they think they're humans. And Josie was playing with our older dog in the floor, and she's very just bouncy. Like, she's she's awkward because she's 12, but she still is kind of spunky and likes to play, but it's kind of awkward looking because her joints are old, Well, she threw her head back playing with Josie, and she's just got this little round, hard skull of a noggin, and there's no fat on her anymore. She's lost all her muscle mass. She's just skin and bones at this point. and she popped Josie in the jaw, the hinge of her jaw. So it hit her right on the hinge of her jaw, but also kind of by her ear. And Josie, all I saw was Josie just fold up and fall to the floor and just go, oh. And I was like, what just happened? Because I was just sitting at my desk, And I was like, and Jack was looking at her and I was looking at her and I was expecting to see blood. I thought maybe Leia's nails had scratched the side of her face or something, like, because our dogs have bigger nails. I didn't know what had happened. Finally, I figure out after she was able to speak and just kind of get over the initial pain that Leia had headbutted her and just popped her right in the hinge of her jaw. Well, I just kind of was like trying to play it down because I didn't want to like encourage an overreaction, but I wanted her to know I cared, that kind of thing. And so I just kind of let it go. And I was like, okay, that really stinks. I'm sorry that hurt. Do you want an ice pack? I went and got her an ice pack and I just didn't think about it. That afternoon, she comes downstairs and she just lays on the couch next to me, which is kind of weird for her. And I was like, are you okay? Are you just hungry? You ready for me to start dinner? And she was like, no, I'm in so much pain. And I'm like, still? So I gave her some Tylenol. I got her a fresh ice pack and I texted her pediatrician, who happens to be a friend of mine from church, who also goes to our church. And I was like, look, I hate to text you, but this happened today. And I'm kind of thinking I might need to take her to urgent care. I'm just not sure what to do. Am I overreacting? Should I just wait till tomorrow? And she's like, the pain's gotten worse and not better. And I was like, yeah. I explained what happened. She's like, Jenny, I would probably take her in just to get it checked out. She needs an x-ray of her jaw and they need to look at her ear and they need to make sure she doesn't have a concussion because she had a headache. And Josie's already had 2 concussions. And so we have to be very mindful of that. And so I took her into urgent care. I fixed a very quick dinner. We had tacos. And I was like, okay, my husband had just walked in the door. Y'all, this summer, my husband got a new position. And it's a totally different company. It's all under the same company head, but it's a totally separate company than he was working for. So this summer, we've had that too, where he used to work from home all 5 days a week. Now he's only home 2 days a week, and he's in the office 3 days a week, and he has to drive all the way to Atlanta. And it's been a big adjustment for our family because normally if this would have happened, he would have already been home and I would have known the dogs were taken care of and I just would have taken off, And now I'm like, hey, are you almost home? Because this happened today. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Our whole family dynamic has changed. And so took her to urgent care. She ended up being fine 4 hours later after we got through everything. We didn't get home till 10 o'clock that night. And so I told her, I was like, we normally start school around 10 right now because she doesn't have a full load at this moment until dual enrollment starts. We're just trying to get our feet wet and get back into the groove of a routine. And so I was like, you know what? We'll just start at 11. Well, we're exhausted. We've spent 4 hours in an urgent care. We just walked in at 10 o'clock at night. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll start at 11. And we all went to bed. So, we did that. And the next day, y'all, I started pricing car insurance because Josie is getting her license very soon. And so I don't know if y'all have drivers yet, but my oldest doesn't drive yet. So I haven't really had to have this snowball effect of quoting car insurance for what it's going to cost. And I knew it was going to be more. We live in Atlanta or in the Atlanta market. Okay. It's awful. Y'all, do you want to know what my insurance company quoted us for car insurance for 2 cars? One's totally paid for. $800 a month. Who in their right mind can pay $800 a month for car insurance for 2 cars? I was like, And no, I laughed because I thought the girl was joking on the phone. We've been with this insurance company for 7 years. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Either you really don't care if I'm a customer, or I mean, that's the only conclusion I could come up with, like that she would quote me that. So I started calling around and I got it reduced a little over half with someone else. But that's been a shock this week of what we're going to end up paying when we add her to the policy. So tomorrow we're changing insurance companies. On top of that, I decided to refinance my husband's car because his interest rate was over 8% and I got it down to 6. Hey, Melissa. And so it's okay, you're late. This is very casual this month. We just started school on Monday and I'm explaining the chaos of this week, and it has nothing to do with homeschool. The chaos is all life, no homeschool. Homeschool's been great. And so I did that on Tuesday. And then my daughter said she thought her wisdom teeth were really bothering her and she might need to have surgery to get them out. And I was like, well, usually they do that senior year, but you're a junior. So I called the dentist and I said, hey, she's complaining after she eats of her mouth really hurting in the back where her wisdom teeth are. And she thinks something's wrong. Can I bring her in? And they're like, yeah, bring her in Wednesday. So I took her in on Wednesday after school. And he does a panoramic x-ray and he goes, it's not her wisdom teeth. I said, what is it? I don't even know how this happens. Okay. She has had the worst luck with her teeth, but y'all, her molar, her back top molar that's beside a wisdom tooth that's forming. As the wisdom tooth was forming, it absorbed one of the roots of her other molars. And the tooth root is now deformed. It had formed an abscess. What in the world? It had formed an abscess. So she has this awful infected molar that needs to be pulled and come out. And it was next to the wisdom teeth. So she was thinking it was the wisdom teeth. So now we have to see an oral surgeon on Monday. I'm not done. We're not done with the week. Today's only Thursday. So that was yesterday. And I was like, okay, whatever. It's just getting a tooth pulled. Not a big deal. I'm trying to roll with the punches of the week. This morning, my son wakes up. Mom, my eye is killing me. And I'm like, what? I said, let me look at it. It's beet red, totally bloodshot. I'm like, do you have pink eye? And he was like, I don't think so. I think it's an eyelash. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, you close your eye and you kind of push it over to the corner and see if there's an eyelash in there. And I guess maybe he scratched his eye or something while he was rubbing from the eyelash. And so when I put eye drops in his eye, it started stinging really bad. And I'm like, oh, you've probably scratched it. So he laid on the couch for like an hour, and I was like, just keep your eyes closed, kind of blink a little bit to get the drops dispersed and just rest your eyes. Don't get on the computer. Don't get on your phone. Just let your eye rest. So a couple hours later, I went to check on him and it was totally fine. Thank goodness. So I thought, we dodged a bullet. We're in the clear. We're good. Today's going to be a great day. And I'm sitting at my desk. Josie's behind me working. We're up in the bonus room. And she goes, Mom, Leia, which is our 12-year-old dog. She had already almost given Josie a concussion this week. And we ended up in urgent care from the first incident with her. Now her whole side is bleeding. And I'm like, then I look at the back feet and there's blood on one of them. Well, if you have an older dog who really struggles with getting cysts, sebaceous cysts under their skin, sometimes they have one. Sometimes they're in other discreet places you don't realize they have one, and they scratch because to them it feels itchy and uncomfortable. And if their nail catches it just right, it ruptures. Yes, this is going to be the 4th surgery in her lifetime. She's 12. This started when she turned 7. She started having these. So I called the vet. Well, I cleaned her up. I got everything cleaned up, took her outside. I have a special antibacterial saline spray I use because we're used to this whole thing. And I didn't even know she had one. So I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I called the vet. I'm like, Leia has a ruptured sebaceous cyst. I need to get her in because they have to put her on an antibiotic so she doesn't get septic, because otherwise she'll get an infection in her blood. It's a whole thing. Took her in. $200 later, I got an antibiotic shot, antibiotic pills. They cleaned her up, scheduled the surgery, which is at the end of August, which I won't even tell you how much it's going to be. Y'all, this has been the week. So today, 2:00, get in the car, school's over, drive Leia to the vet. I haven't had a day where I've been home long enough to wash my clothes, y'all. I'm like, what is happening? So yes, that's my week in a nutshell. It's been absolutely insane. I think the car insurance was the most shocking thing this week, but there's just been a lot of medical. We've had medical, we've had dental, and we've had veterinary all in 4 days, y'all. So yeah, what a week, right? Like I told my husband, I was like, I'm so done. He goes, babe, anybody would be done that went through this kind of a week. He goes, you're not overreacting. You're not feeling anything nobody else would feel. You are just tired. And I was like, yes, I am tired. And when your husband, you've been used to him working from home 5 days a week, and all of a sudden he's working from home only 2 days a week, and he's in the office more than he's home, it takes him an hour and a half to 2 hours one way. It's just insane, the dynamic that changes in your household. And what you used to do and used to be able to rely on, or he used to be able to help with certain things, he can't help with anymore. And so it's just like we're relearning a whole new family rhythm. And this is how it's going to be as long as he's with this company. And the plan is for him to stay with this company till he retires, which is about 10 years away. So I will say, I was very shocked by the car insurance thing. However, this new job, we had been praying over this for 6 months on what to do. It's a long story. One company was getting bought by another, and do we stay? Do we transfer out to another one? It was a whole thing. It involved pension details. It involved all sorts of things. And God totally went before us in this, because we've always, anytime we have a big decision like this, we just pray that God would make it clear, abundantly clear, either slam the door in our face or open it wide open with some good oomph so that we know one way or the other. And we really didn't know. He went through 5 interview rounds, which he's never been through that competitive of a position before, with 5 interviews. And by the time the 5th one was done, before the 5th one, we had no idea what to do. It was just still, it could go either way. But after the 5th one, it was like, okay, we're supposed to do this. Well, when he took this job, it came with a significant raise. And guys, God went before us because he knew the expenses coming down the pipeline. He knew we were going to have 2 new drivers within 2 years. He knew we were going to need to get them a vehicle. He knew all of this ahead. And what took me by surprise this week didn't take God by surprise. And I told Sean this week, I looked back and I said, God totally took care of us. He went before us, and he always has. He always has gone before us, and we're always surprised every time. You would think you would not be surprised anymore, but just have to give him the glory for that, because he has really provided for our family in a huge way. And I could not be more grateful and thankful for that. So I try not to complain too much about my husband not being here as much. It's just Atlanta traffic and him trying to get there and trying to get home. It just puts a lot of strain on him. and us. So it's just crazy, but it's okay. Um, so yeah, that is our first week of homeschool. We're focusing on Denison Algebra 2. We're focusing on honors, English Lit. If you want and missed the last video I did on what Josie's junior year is going to look like, how I'm doing block scheduling, all that stuff, make sure you watch it sometime after this because that explains everything. I don't really want to have to explain it again if I don't have to because, we're tired. What I'm going to do now that, you guys are here and everybody's jumped on. Yes, I know. Denison's awesome. Mindy said, I'm doing Denison Algebra 2 also. Woohoo. Yeah. Last year we had kind of a faux pas, a flip flop with geometry, and we just decided, and my daughter even said, let's just go back to Denison this year. And I was like, I think that's a great idea. What was I going to say? Oh, now that y'all are here, what I am planning is to do a live once a month and to do it the first week of every month. So Thursday, the first Thursday of every month is when I'm planning to do my live now. I'm not going to do multiple weeks. It's just too much. We have too much going on here. When your kids get older, things get nuts. Everybody's schedules coming together and trying to figure out what all four people are doing gets a little intense. And with my youngest being a junior, you can imagine the intensity of the family schedule. So I think that's going to work well. This is typically the night everybody's out of the house but me. Tonight, Josie and I, we're watching a movie. Have y'all seen the Enola Holmes movies? Does anybody watch those? The third one just came out, and Josie and I were watching it over some Chinese. We door dashed us some Chinese tonight because that's the mood I was in after this week, and we were watching it, and then I was like, oh no, I've got my live. And I looked at my phone. I was panicked because I thought, what if it's after 7? But thankfully it was like 6:20. So I set my alarm 10 minutes before 7 to make sure I jumped on because I'm not used to it. So that's my plan, is just to jump on, talk through school a little bit. I'm not going to talk about Josie personally anymore on my channel. She's a very private kid. I understand not wanting your whole life out there. And so I'm not really going to talk about her personal experience with homeschooling. I'm just going to talk about kind of what we're doing, what my experience is, what I'm reading, what they're reading. We'll talk about that kind of stuff. I'll talk about, just balancing a kid with part-time job and school. I mean, there's plenty to talk about. I've got one kid with ADHD. I've got one with Asperger's. They don't call it that anymore, but I still call it that because it explains more to you that he's high functioning. And so I'm not happy they did away with that. They've kind of put all kids under the same title of just autism now. And it's frustrating to me, and I'm sure it's frustrating to those whose kids have severe autism because it's hard to figure out what you're dealing with if you just say autism, right? He is a very high functioning kid. He struggles with some things and he needs extra support in some areas, but he's still extremely high functioning. He's independent. He's capable of doing a lot of things. So anyway, there's a lot to talk about with that. And he's taken a non-traditional path after school. If you missed that, go back to the beginning of the live. When I click off, I'll explain kind of what our goals are for this year, this school year with him. I talked with him and we kind of set goals together on what we felt would be something we could work towards this year. So we do have goals. He's not just sitting around and sleeping till noon and on the computer all day. That's not how we roll here. Me and him are doing a book club together and we're loving that. And I will make sure to share with you guys what we're reading. I didn't bring anything with me. I'm completely unprepared tonight. I'm not upstairs at my desk, so I don't have all my books, but I will do a shot on my community tab of the books we're reading, and I will explain in that community post kind of who I'm reading with what. And then it might give you guys some book suggestions. I'm also learning to read for fun. Does anybody else read for fun? It was so funny. My friend Wendy, she'll get on here every once in a while, Cozy Cove Homeschool. She is like who I aspire to be when it comes to reading. Melissa, I know you're a big reader too. She has helped me so much with just knowing like book recommendations and what to read because I've always been a very practical reader. Like it needs to be self-help or I'm learning something or I'm doing it with the kids or it's strengthening my faith. So yeah, just practical. It's always been not fun, to be very honest. I mean, I love the Bible. I love learning about God's word, but you know, every once in a while, it's okay to branch off, and do some fiction or do something else. And I forgot how much I love mystery. And so this year I just started, it's called the Thursday Murder Club. And I have an obsession with all things British. I have been to London twice. I actually studied in London in college. I love that city. It is just fantastic. I love the people. I love the accent. I love their culture. And it is set in Great Britain or England, whichever you want to say. And it is at a retirement community, which, if you know me, I am a senior citizen in a younger person body. I love eating dinner at 3:30. Truly, I would do it if I could. If I lived by myself and I had nobody else to care for, I would be the old lady at Cracker Barrel at 3:30, 4 o'clock eating my dinner. I love it. I love bingo. I love all things old people. Okay. So it's set in a retirement community in England and it's a murder mystery and the characters are hysterical. If you like dry British humor, you would really like this book. I'm not done with it yet, but y'all, it's like Wendy totally hit the nail on the head on that one for me. Melissa says, I've read that one. I gave it 3 stars and didn't continue the series. It was fine, but not my favorite. I know a lot of people love it though. I think it's just totally your sense of humor. Like some people just aren't into the dry sense of humor or don't like, you really have to kind of be an older person in a young person body at our age to read that probably, but that's totally me. I love this book, y'all. Joyce is by far my favorite character. I love her, but I love all of them. And it's not just women in the club. There's men and there's 4 of them, 2 men, 2 women. It's hysterical. I love it. I couldn't put it down last night because I was enjoying myself so much. So yes, I am trying to read for fun. This is very new for me. My husband looked at the book and he looked at me and he goes, "Are you reading for fun?" Me and my husband have been married for 20 years. And he, I don't think, has ever seen me read for fun in 20 years. And he was like, "Are you reading for fun?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm giving it a shot." And he goes, "That's fantastic." He was so happy for me. So that's kind of my new thing that I'm trying to get into. Melissa said, "I like the humor, but the plot was a little too out there for me." Maybe when I get to the end, I might think the same way. I don't know. The murder has just happened. So yeah. But I'm still not even halfway through. But anyway, yes, I'm trying to just try some different things and try to read for myself. I'm really trying not to doom scroll on my phone. Why that has become a challenge for me? Like, I never thought I'd be the doom scroller type, but sometimes it's just out of boredom or because I'm stressed out and I just want to kind of escape from it for a minute. And then an hour's gone by and I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm just really trying to change some patterns in my life. And so I love reading with my kids. I love, I told Jack, I said, it doesn't always have to be like nonfiction, although that's what he likes. He likes nonfiction reading. Now, my daughter likes fiction reading and she has all sorts of genres she loves. I think her and Wendy might be the same person. Actually, Wendy came, um, stayed with us, and I kind of accused Josie of stealing my best friend from me. I'm like, this is not okay. You cannot take her away from me. They get along so well. And the whole time Josie couldn't be with us, Wendy was talking about Josie. And I was just like, can I have my friend back, please? I'm saying this in light. Okay. Josie is a very just joyful, likable person. She's my social butterfly. She likes to do a lot of the things that Wendy likes to do. And so they just get along beautifully. But, yeah, but she did get accused of trying to steal my best friend from me. Then I went to visit a friend, a homeschool mom friend, before school started this summer. And I just got back a couple weeks ago. And she was like, I think I would just love to meet Josie. And I'm like, no, nobody else is meeting Josie. So I joke totally, but it's just funny that she's getting accused of stealing all my friends from me. But she's just a fun kid and she's easy to love. So um, yeah, so I'm working on myself a little bit this year, and I'm not good at boundaries. I'm not good at pacing myself. I'm not good at a lot of things, and I just really want to work on some things for me this year, and so that's what I'm doing. And also, I think it's the fact that in 2 years, I've taught myself out of a job. Like, I won't be homeschooling anymore, and I gave up my career a long time ago to do this, and so I'm not going back to that. And it's like, God, what do you have for me? So that's another conversation I've been having. Like, what happens in 2 years? What is that gonna look like, you know? So, I guess it's retirement for me, but, I like to, like, live life with a purpose, and so I always have a goal. I'm always on some kind of mission. So, we'll see. But yeah, that's kinda what's been going on. I hope you guys have had a wonderful summer. I hope that when school starts back for you, whenever that is, that it'll be a great week. I pray you don't have near the drama I did my first week back. And I'm going to get off for now because I'm going to go watch the Atlanta Braves. I am a huge baseball fan. I love the Braves. I went to opening day this year. It's the first time I had been to the new park at Truist. And so I'm going to go watch the baseball game. But it was really good to catch up with you guys. Look for me the first of every month on Thursdays at 7 o'clock, and we're going to make this a thing. So we'll get back to it. We're going to be consistent, and I can't wait to see all you guys again on a regular basis. So I hope you have a great month, and I will be back in September. Love you guys.